Here's our last surviving link with the Matisse world, Patrick Heron, writer on art, painter of abstracts, now in his 80s. Let's help him over the rocks at his house in Cornwall, where he's lived nearly all his life.
You actually go down and make holes in the rocks. In fact, there are rocks in which the holes are right.
Matisse's rhythms, patterns, colours, Matisse's obsession with the natural world. These are Patrick Heron's obsessions too.
Yes, yes, yes. And find
How he was hated by the art world when I was a student. He would just get up and say conceptual art was boring. This can't be right, the avant-gardists of the 1970s all thought. They never thought about Matisse, and the only time they thought about Patrick Heron was to laugh at his hopeless formalism. How funny that I used to assume they were right. Now I don't.
Everything in Patrick Heron's paintings is abstract and pure. At the same time, it all comes from things that he's seen. The rocks and hills and fields and flowers, his garden, the harbours, the sea, the light around the house in Cornwall where he lives. He doesn't sit in front of these things and sketch them, he just soaks them all up by osmosis, and his paintings come out looking like this.
what is it that grabs one and sets all one's juices in motion, you know? It must be beauty, actually. So that beauty, presumably, although a meaningless word, is nevertheless perhaps a word that evokes all kinds of intensely felt and experienced relationships. If you thought of writing down what it was in terms of...
When Heron was an art critic, as well as an artist, he used to go on about pure visual pleasure. But pure visual pleasure is not like champagne or lovely cakes. It's an incredibly difficult idea that lots of people don't want or are afraid of. When you try to analyse something as innocent as beauty, it's amazing how frightening the discussion can get.
The subject matter of figurative painting is the least important thing about it. The one thing you apprehend immediately is the fucking subject. The so-called subject is the last thing that you want to dwell on. You don't want to go on gazing, saying, gosh, this is an apple, this is an apple, this is an apple. You can't ever go on looking at anything for more than a millionth of a second, incidentally, without moving your eyes. It's apparently a physical law that your eye gets bored and wants immediately to move.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's really good. Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
That's a good one.
Yes. You just try slowly swiveling your eye across the visual field. It can't be done. It goes from this point to that point, to that point, to that point, to that point. And the stuff of that is rhythm. When I see a robin hopping from twig to twig, I think how amazing. You know, it springs from point here to point there, but it's all done in jerks, all of which have a perfect starting and ending. Well, exactly the same thing is happening when you look at something.
I think what's good about that idea is that it almost sums up the mechanics of excitement and joy and pleasure of looking at it as a work, you know.
The enjoyment is entirely to do with colour shape interactions.
I like this kind of talk, but hardly anyone else does, and I can't really blame them.
Our awareness of form and shape.
People don't like it because they think you're bossing them about and telling them to pull their socks up and think about quality and form and shape and colour, and they don't want it.
I just can't see why people can't understand that the fascination that painting has for us is a fascination with the purely visual.
I know that you're almost to the point of obsession interested in Matisse.
Yes, but I can remember the day in which Cézanne, as the centre of my world of visual consciousness, suddenly started to move sideways out of the centre of focus, and this character called Matisse started to slide in. And I can remember the crudity and the ugliness of the Matisse. William Scott once said something very interesting. He said, "The beauty of the thing badly done." That's rather hot stuff, actually.